What's up guys, Belamy Prime here, and as of today, we're finally going to be bringing you guys some more ArcheAge Unchained guides here on the channel. I've been extremely busy the first couple weeks of ArcheAge Unchained, managing my Zerg guild, as well as, streaming, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So, I finally have some time on my hands to get some videos out to you guys, so hopefully you guys enjoy. But today, we're going to be talking about dailies, things that you should be doing in ArcheAge Unchained to stay ahead, the things that you should be trying to do each day to make sure that you don't fall behind. Now, this is basically just going to be me covering the things that I do each day to earn gold, to earn honor, to progress with my hero gear, and everything along those lines. So, hopefully you guys enjoy. We're going to jump right in. So, currently in ArcheAge Unchained, the Arc Pass has been disabled until further notice. We don't know when it's going to come back up, so this video will not be covering anything Arc Pass daily-wise. Once we get that back into the game and we know exactly where that fits in, our daily schedules, that comes down to each and every person to take care of that themselves. But as of right now, we have no Arc Pass, so we're going to be talking about non-Arc Pass dailies that you need to be doing each day to make sure that you keep progressing and that you don't fall behind. So the dailies we're going to talk about today do not have to be completed in the order that I'm covering them. Generally, you'll just try and complete each of them as they arise, whether it's a Crimson Rift or an Aegis Island Rift or whatever it is you need to do or what you want to do. You basically just need to tackle it in the order that is most comfortable for you and the one that's going to be most efficient. The order I'm covering today is basically just going to be how I like to do it and just how I cover it as I recorded each of these events that I need to do. But one of the first dailies that you'll have to get through is the queue. Once you're in, you can get in and actually start being productive, but depending on your server, this may take some time. Presumably, a lot of people watching this video right now are people who are just sitting in queue waiting to get in game. Now, everyone on ArcheAge Unchained understands that Hiram is the name of the game right now. Progressing your Hiram gear is very, very important. And the best way to complete what I like to call the Hiram World Tour, which is basically every Hiram daily in the game, is to form up with a raid. Generally around reset is the best time to be looking for these raids, and complete them all as a group. Because these are all kill quests, it's extremely easy to do in a group of 50 to 100. It's very easy to coordinate, and once people get the hang of it, you almost don't even have to lead the raid if you're the person taking care of it. Because for the most part, everyone knows exactly what to do, where to go in what order, and everyone does all the kill quests. It's very, very easy, and doing it in a 50 to 100 man raid saves a lot of time. Generally, I form up a raid for myself and my guild, because for the most part, they know what's up by this point, and I don't really have to direct them anywhere. They just follow Star, and we go around and we do all the kill quests together.
Magnificent, aren't they?
But, like I said, around reset raid or whatever time of the day it is you can get on, keep an eye on your nation chat for people forming up EHM raids, WHM raids, Hiram raids, reset raids, whatever they call it on your server or in your region. Keep an eye out for the raids, get to know what they're calling them, what they are, and why you should be participating in them. So in the background while I'm talking, you'll see the order at which I complete the Hiram World Tour. There are a total of 11 quests. For those of you who aren't sure where those quests are, they're in Sungold, ExitLag, Diamond Shores, and Reedwind. Then there are 3 in Western Hiram Mountains and 4 in Eastern Hiram Mountains. You'll see those in order here. And if you would like some more details on exactly where to find these and, pings on the map, I have a video called The Complete Hiram Guide. Go watch that. It covers everything you need to know about Hiram, including where all these daily quests are. So the next thing that I like to do after the Hiram World Tour, or sometimes even during the World Tour with my guild, is to complete some guild dailies. For those of you who are unaware, the way to open your guild dailies is to open up the Socials tab, go to your guild tab, then to the Missions tab, and unlock each of the missions like you see here. These will reset daily, and you can complete them every day for Guild XP and Prestige. Prestige is going to be very important for acquiring your own Guild Cloak, acquiring Guild Flares, Misogons Crystals, which are going to be useful later for your costumes and undergarments. So Prestige is a very important currency, and you should be doing these every day to set yourself up for the future. Now, there are 4 of these missions that are quite easy to complete right now in ArcheAge Unchained. The first one is a world boss kill, which is pretty simple. Most of you should be very familiar with world boss killing at this point if you've played ArcheAge Unchained since day 1. So you guys can take care of that. Basically, just open up your mission. If you participate in a world boss kill, you'll get credit, you'll get some XP and some prestige. The next one is a bunker. The easiest way to do this is to go over with a group to Diamond Shores, pick up a cannon from one of the boxes in Diamond Shores, and shoot a bunker, kill the bunker, and you'll get credit, get a bit of XP, bit of prestige. The next mission that's quite easy to complete is to go to any community center in any hostile zone in the game, whether it's east or west, it doesn't matter what faction you are, and pick just one of the Blue Salt dailies from an NPC inside the community center. It'll cost you 1 gold. You'll right click it in your inventory. It'll give you a kill quest. You go kill 10, 11, 12 of whatever mobs it wants you to kill, and then it will complete. The quest itself will give you a Guilder Star, which is quite nice, and you'll also get credit for your guild mission. And then the final guild quest that is quite easy to complete, although compared to the others is a little bit costly depending on whether or not you have sources of Archeum, is to complete a pack run in Diamond Shores. There are a number of dailies you can complete in Diamond Shores which require you to run Pioneers, Archeum bundles, and different Archeum bundles from your housing area in Diamond Shores. Obviously the Archeum early on is quite expensive, so not a lot of people do these, but if leveling your guild is important and you need fast prestige, this is something you should definitely be doing. So throughout the day while you're completing quests and doing whatever it is you're doing, you should be keeping an eye out for the 4 different rifts that spawn around the world that you should be participating in for the honor and the leadership that they provide. Those rifts are the Crimson Rift and the Grimghast Rift, very old rifts. Any person who's played ArcheAge before should understand what these are. And then we have the Aegis Island Rift and the Whale Song Rift. Now, the Crimson and Grimghast Rifts spawn every in-game day at 1200 and 2400 hours respectively. Keep an eye on your nation chat for people forming up these raids prior to these times, and get yourself a slot in that raid and complete the quests. Each of these rifts requires very little effort and rewards you with a nice little chunk of honor and leadership. The other 2 rifts that I mentioned, Aegis Island and Whalesong Harbor, occur in those zones respectively. Aegis Island and Whalesong Harbor, each time they go to war. Once the zone gets pushed to war, you'll get an announcement saying that there's a rift happening in that zone. Most likely, there will already be raids forming up for this within your nation chat, so keep an eye out for those. You head over to Aegis Island or Whalesong Harbor, pick up the quest from the town, and then head over to your faction's respective rift area. Completing these rifts can be tough if you don't have a solid group early on in ArcheAge Unchained, so make sure that you're doing these with raids so that you're getting the tags for the mobs easier and potentially even killing the boss at the end of the rift. Now, moving on from daily quests for a moment, there's a few things that I like to do in game that are a great source of gold early on, as well as a great source of gold later into the game. So basically, at least in my opinion, as soon as you can be doing these, you should be doing these, and these are lower tier graded dungeons. So basically, there are 4 different dungeons that you can be doing that don't take a whole lot of time to complete in groups of 3 early on. Eventually, you'd like to be able to solo it if you're a DPS that can solo it, and you can go around and complete these early dungeons. Now, these dungeons include the Palace Cellar, Sharpwind Mines, Burnt Castle Armory, and Hadir Farm. If you're able to complete these in a solid group of 3, you'll get decent rewards. The Abyssal Shards that drop from each of the bosses can be vended for a nice little chunk of gold, especially early on. And each final boss in each dungeon has a chance to drop Sunglow Gems, which sell for a significant amount of gold early on, and will continue to sell into the late game, not only because they're lunar gems that people need for their gear, but they can also be broken down using even stones for superior glow lunarite, which is something that people are always going to need. So not only is this a great source of gold for very little effort, it's completely labor free, unless you're counting, 10 labor to even stone a Sunglow, but you're only going to get a couple of those. So essentially, it's a completely labor-free source of gold. I will point out that there are other dungeons that you can do for gold, like GHA and Greater Coral Cradle and things like that, but they have 5 bosses per dungeon, essentially, and they take a bit longer compared to the dungeons I mentioned earlier. You can do them if you have the time. I generally don't think it's worth it to do the extra dungeons. GHA is not too bad, but in general, the other ones are just a bit quicker and a bit more worth the time, in my opinion. The next thing that I like to complete daily are my drill camp arenas and my free-for-all arenas. You don't have to queue every single pop of these, but it's very important to get some Curios badges so that you can do your stat migration daily until you're finished with that. And also, they give infusions or infusion supply kits, which can be used to acquire hero infusions or abyssal enhancers for your library or Noriak gear later on. Even losing in these arenas gives you significant rewards. You'll get a few badges and at least a single infusion supply kit, so it's very well worth your time. Now, 2 of the last dailies that I like to try and get done each day are my family dailies. They're 2 very easy quests to complete. You basically have to do nothing for them, and they give you a nice little chunk of vocation, family XP, and one of the quests even gives you Onyx Archeum, which you can sell or keep, use, whatever it is you need to do. It's actually not a bad source of gold for basically no labor. The first quest that we do changes from day to day, but basically each of the quests is just a boring, time-consuming Simon Says game where you interact with a sheep or a beehive or a whatever pumpkin for a couple minutes until you finish the quest. They're very easy. They require at least 2 people, so you and another family member or potentially more, and you can complete it very easily. To acquire the quest for these, simply open the missions in your family tab and then go to any community center rep out the front, and you can pick up the quest. It'll give you whatever the daily is for that day. You place it on the ground somewhere, and you complete it with your family members. The other family quest that I like to complete is just a simple cargo transportation quest that you pick up at either the Solus trade outlet or the Two Crowns trade outlet. You can either take the pack across yourself on your boat, or you can take the safe route on the NPC boat. Take it over, hand in the quest. Turning in the pack doesn't cost any labor, and you get 20 Onyx Archeum guaranteed, so you can keep that, use it, or sell it. It's a good source of gold, gives you a bit of vacation, it's very, very nice, and it's super easy to do. Well guys, that's pretty much it for the dailies that I feel like I have to do every day to make sure that I'm being productive. Obviously, there are some other small dailies, things that I like to get done in a day if I can. For a little extra advantage, obviously, you know, I'm trying to get my farming done, and some days I do library dailies with my guild for that XP. You know, I'll go out and farm some mobs for a little bit of XP, some coin purses, different things like that. There are a lot of different things that you could be doing each day on top of what I'm showing you here to make sure you're being productive. Once you get to the point, you can start doing Noriat. At a certain point, hopefully we have actual arenas and we can be doing our Halcyonas and different things like that. But as of right now, this is really all we have available to us. And these are the main dailies that I feel like you need to get done each day to make sure that you're not gimping yourself in terms of things like honor and gold and things like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'd like to send a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters, Lustes, Jack from All Trades, and Azriela. I really appreciate your support, my guys. If you haven't already, joined my Discord. We have an awesome community over there. I've been super busy the last 2 weeks, so I haven't been able to answer as many questions in the Discord as what I usually would like to. But join the Discord, PM me, maybe you have a question about your class or whatever it is you might have. I'm absolutely okay with answering it when I get around to it. And when I get to streaming again, feel free to come over to my Twitch and check me out over there. Feel free to come ask questions. That's why I stream, so I'm absolutely happy to answer any questions you guys might have. But anyway, guys, that's it for today, and I'll see you guys in the next video of whatever I make. Cheers.